Hi, this is Dr. C.
So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to install Anaconda. And when you do that, you will have access to the latest version of Python, and you will also have access to Jupyter notebooks, and that will help you get started doing your Python explorations. So I've simply typed in download Anaconda into Google, and let's click on this link, individual edition, and that's going to take us to the Anaconda website. I'm going to hit the download button. And we're taken down to a section where you have a choice, whether you have a Windows platform, Mac, or Linux. I have Windows, I'm going to install it on. And depending on the machine you have, the capabilities of it, 64-bit or 32-bit, I'm going to go for the 64-bit installer. And what you're going to do is you're going to be saving this file. So we're going to hit the save file. And up here in the upper right-hand corner I'm in Firefox, you can see the progress of the downloads. So when this completes, when this blue line fills in, we'll be ready to go. I'm going to click on this so you can see what is happening. There's Anaconda loading. Okay, we're good to go now. I'm going to click on this, the installer. And we're going to step through the setup program. Hit next. I agree. Just me, recommended, that's fine. Now, the destination folder, where are you going to put the files? It's important that you remember where Anaconda is installed, because at some point you may be asked to point to where your Python lives on the system. So I always put it in some place I'm going to remember. I'm going to name this, actually I've got something in this folder already. I'm going to set a separate file. I'm just call it Anaconda 3Z. And I'm going to hit next. Now, advanced installation options. What I recommend you do is click this section, even though it says not recommended, and when you click on it, it highlights in red. Don't be frightened by that. What this does is it adds Anaconda to your path environment variable. Both the Windows systems and Macs and Linux have a path variable that maintains all the directories. So when you enter a command to run a program, it simply looks in the path, the list of directories in your path environment variable, and checks each of those directories. If you don't have the directory on your path, even though you have the software on your system, it's not going to find it. So I recommend, unless you have Python installed already and you're doing something with it, that I would choose this, add Anaconda to my path. Okay, installation is complete. Hit next. Now, here's an option to install PyCharm, which is interactive development environment. And I really like this. And so I would recommend you click on this and install PyCharm right here. I believe it's going to configure your PyCharm so it finds the Anaconda installation of Python. Anaconda, I'm just going to go next, back here, and getting started. So you can click on these, your resources will be loaded. I'm not going to do this here, but you're welcome to do that. And let's finish this up, and we should be in good shape. Now, I'm going to run some tests of this. So I'm going to come down here to my start, and I'm going to enter a command, open a command prompt. Okay, and I've got the command prompt open, and a couple of things you're going to want to do to make sure that Python is available to you, the Anaconda installation kind of worked, and Python-V with an uppercase. This will ask what the version of Python installed on the system is. If you don't get this, then you've got a problem with your path variable. So that's the story there. Now, let me show you about a Jupyter notebook, how to run Jupyter notebook. It's very, very straightforward. What I recommend you do, I'm going to back up here, cd ... cd ... and I'm going to just create a directory here, mkdir I'm going to call it Jup 2. And I'm going to cd to Jup 2. So this is an empty directory, dir. And when you're doing Jupyter notebooks, as we'll see, what's nice is to have Jupyter Notebook open in a empty directory. So when you save the file or you look at what files are in there, you're not going to see a bunch of other stuff. Okay, how do we run Jupyter Notebook? Now that Anaconda is installed and your path is set up for you automatically, Notebook, Jupyter Notebook. And I'm going to hit enter at the command line. And bingo, it opens right up, and here is our Jupyter Notebook. Now let me go back, show you this on the command line. If for some reason the Jupyter Notebook didn't open, what it's doing is it's launching a localhost server on port 8888 where the Jupyter Notebook runs. So if for some reason the Jupyter Notebook doesn't open, all you have to do is highlight this and paste it into the browser window, and it will trigger the Jupyter Notebook. But everything worked fine, and so we're good to go with a Jupyter Notebook. Now, what you want to do is you want to create a new notebook. So come over here to the right. You see this new and Python 3. And now we have a Jupyter Notebook, and we have cells, and we can enter Python code. I can type x equals 2, and if I just type x at the end of a cell, it will display the value. Once I hit Shift Enter or Control Enter, there we are. The output is 2, and I can do advanced things like defining a function, my func, and it's going to take one parameter. Call it parm, and we're going to simply print the parameter. Now I'll come back over here, and I want to call the function, so I'm going to call my func, and the parameter I'm going to pass is a string, hello world, and I'm going to now execute this code, and there is the output. So we have our cells, and we're good to go. What you may want to do here is come over here to File, and we can say Save and Checkpoint. It would periodically save your file for you, but this is a checkpoint, and actually you can then go back to this if you need to. So I'm going to close this out, and we'll take a look at what the directory looks like. Here I'm going to log out, and it says it's been stopped. Now what you want to do is come in here. You see it's kind of still running in the background. Now what you want to do is hit Control-C twice. So just wait to hit Control-C, hit it once, and that did it. Now if I do a dir, there is our untitled Jupyter Notebook. Now you don't really want to make them untitled. Let's go back into Jupyter Notebook and let's add a name to that. Well, I could add a name here, but let me show you how you add a name. Let me come back to Jupyter Notebook. We'll go back in here. There's our untitled. I'm going to click on this, and there's the code that we entered. Now, how do we change the name? All you have to do is go up here to the name, click on it, and we could call this Jupyter, Jupyter 1. And that's going to be our new notebook name. There's Jupyter 1, and I'm going to log out again. Successfully logged out. Come back here to the command line, and I'll hit that Control-C once more. And there we are, shutting down. So that's a quick start, how to get Anaconda installed and how to use Anaconda. So once Anaconda is installed, you have Python now available on your system, and you have Jupyter Notebook, so you're good to go.